What's up, guys? LQ here to let's rank A Christmas Story and its 5 sequels slash remake. So let's go ahead and do that. There's been obviously A Christmas Story. There has been 4 sequels to A Christmas Story, and there's been 1 remake, A Christmas Story Live. That was a event, I think an ABC event, that happened I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 Christmases ago with Matthew Broderick. So we're going to rank these from worst to best. So in 6th place, the worst one is Ollie Hoopnoodle's Haven of Bliss. This one is a very little known Christmas Story movie sequel. And I had never seen it until very recently. And I got to tell you, it was just a bad movie. I believe it was made for TV. And it felt made for TV. The whole production just screamed, not just made for TV, but like late 80s made for TV. So the acting was bad, the cinematography was bad, the picture was grainy. It just felt like an amateur project. I didn't like it at all. So out of all the Christmas Story movies and sequels, this is the one that I say, yes, avoid this one. All right. That's 6th place. In 5th place, we're going to go with A Christmas Story 2. A Christmas Story 2. So this is a sequel that came out a number of years ago. Daniel Stern played the old man. And because of that, I got kind of excited about it, right? Daniel Stern is a popular actor, most famous for A Christmas Movie, Home Alone, and I was excited about it. And while this movie definitely tried to capture some of the feel of the original, it just lacked the charm of the original. It felt very disconnected from what the original was. It felt too modern. It felt too modern at being set in a time period that wasn't modern at all. It felt too modern. It almost felt too polished. And I don't mean that in a good way. I mean that in a way that it just didn't feel like the era that it was taking place in. Daniel Stern does his best to carry the movie. The boy who plays Ralphie as a teenager who wants a car for Christmas, I think he does a pretty decent Peter Billingsley impression sometimes. I don't think he's a particularly good actor. I don't believe I've seen him in anything since. But he has the look, and every now and then you can see why he was cast, because he's giving this impression that sometimes works. But for the most part, they just went through the beats of the original Christmas Story, and they sprinkled in all the member berries in there, thinking that we would be real happy with it because, oh, look, the lamp showed up. Oh, look, Ralphie's friend is getting his tongue stuck to something again. They were putting in all these member berries in there, thinking we'd be excited about it, but it just felt like it was a desperate retread of the original. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it either. It was just kind of there, right? It didn't exactly work for me. So yeah, that's number 5. Let's go to number 4. Number 4 is My Summer Story. So My Summer Story has pretty much an entirely new cast. So My Summer Story obviously takes place the summer after A Christmas Story, and it was filmed, I believe it was filmed in the early 90s, so it didn't come all that long after the original. The original was 83, so maybe 10 years or so. So obviously a whole new cast is in place for this movie, except for, I believe, the teacher was the same actress. And this one felt a little more, production-wise, it felt a little bit better than Ollie Hoopnoodle. It felt a lot more polished in a good way than Ollie Hoopnoodle, and the story was obviously better than that one. And I'm ranking it above A Christmas Story 2 because this one doesn't feel the need to drop in those member berries and have these blatant ties to the original. I've got a little bit of nostalgia for this one. I watched this one a couple times when I was a kid, not nearly as much as A Christmas Story, but yeah, I remember watching this one as a kid, and honestly, I didn't even know they were related until much later. Not until I was an adult did I realize, oh, yeah, that is a sequel. When I was a kid, it was just, I took it for what it was at face value. And that's how little My Summer Story kind of throws in those ties to A Christmas Story. So yeah, My Summer Story, I'm going to put that in fourth. In third place, we're going to put A Christmas Story Live. Again, this was an event that took place maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and it's a musical, and it had Matthew Broderick narrating the story, and it was decent. Now, let's keep in mind, I'm a sucker for musicals. I do like musicals quite a bit, and I'm such a fan of the original Christmas Story that the retelling of it, if they showed reverence to it, I'm gonna probably enjoy it. And they did show, reverence to the original story. They hit all the necessary beats. Some of the songs were catchy. As a parent, what I've learned about A Christmas Story is that it's the story of his father through the eyes of the kid. And I got that a lot watching this. It's a story of the old man, but it's told through the eyes of Ralphie. And that was kind of the same thing here. The old man has even a really great song number, The Genius on Cleveland Street. And I thought it was fine for what it was. Now, it did put in a lot of modern day sensibilities into it. Some of the things in the original Christmas Story that people find offensive today, they definitely sanitized it for modern audiences, which is gets a little annoying sometimes. But they even poked fun at it a couple times. The fact that they were sanitizing it, they even called it out, which makes it a little less annoying. So yeah, I think a lot of people would probably rank this near the bottom, but for whatever reason, I didn't find this offensive. And I know some people did. I actually kind of enjoyed it. So A Christmas Story Live is number 3. Number 2. And we're talking a huge gap here between number 2 and number 3. Number 2 is a lot better movie than number 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Number 2 is A Christmas Story Christmas. This movie did a lot right. Now, it wasn't nearly as good as the original, but it did a lot right. Bringing back the original cast was a great start. But another thing that it did was it felt like the original, it felt like a continuation of the original. And not only did it feel like a continuation of the original, but watching it, you get more appreciation for the original. It's not as good as the original, but watching it, you get even more appreciation for the original. You realize what the original was really about. It wasn't about the boy getting his Red Ryder BB gun. It was about Ralphie's father and his father providing that Christmas for him and making that Christmas magical. Yeah, guys, I found this movie to be pretty darn good. I definitely enjoyed it a lot. A Christmas Story Christmas is number 2. But my favorite is, of course, the original Christmas Story. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I don't just watch it once every Christmas season. I watch it several times every Christmas season. And I might even plug it in a couple times during the year. I just love this movie. I think that it tells a fantastic story. It's timeless. Even though, it takes place in the 40s, the stories are timeless. And you can always relate to what's happening, what Ralphie is going through, what the parents are going through. It's just a timeless story of Christmas. It captures the Christmas spirit, the Christmas magic, and it is a phenomenal movie. Like I said, one of my favorites of all time. So that is my ranking of the Christmas Story movies. What is your ranking? Let me know in the comments down below. And thank you so much for joining me here at the Elkie Review. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.